Hello, everyone, and welcome to this comprehensive exploration of one of Nigeria's most talked about infrastructural projects, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway. In this video, we'll dive deep into the project's history, examine its current status, and discuss how it could shape Nigeria's future. We'll look at the economic benefits, potential tourism boom, environmental considerations, and the vital issue of accountability that often determines whether such a large-scale plan can succeed. If you're curious about how a single road can drastically change travel, trade, and connectivity along Nigeria's southern coastline, this is for you. Let's begin by setting the scene. Currently, traveling by road from Lagos to Calabar usually involves moving inland through multiple highways and often congested routes. The journey can be lengthy, costly, and riddled with detours. Meanwhile, our coastal areas, rich in cultural, ecological, and economic potential, remain underserved by direct infrastructure. The proposed Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway aims to change this by providing a continuous route along Nigeria's southern edge, potentially boosting economic activity and connecting countless communities in a more direct way than ever before. 1. Historical background. The concept of linking Lagos to Calabar via a coastal corridor is not a brand new idea. Various administrations have floated similar plans, especially post-independence, when national unity and economic advancement were top priorities. Through the oil boom of the 1970s, there was talk of major road and rail expansions, though the actual implementation of a dedicated coastal highway never fully materialized. Political shifts, funding challenges, and changing economic climates often relegated the project to proposals and feasibility studies. In more recent years, infrastructure has again taken center stage in Nigeria's development agenda. Policymakers and experts acknowledge that well-designed roads, rail links, ports, and airports are key to economic prosperity. The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway stands out as a particularly significant plan, both in terms of scale and the multifaceted benefits it could bring, ranging from faster movement of goods to enhanced tourism and cultural exchange. 2. Geographic and demographic scope. Nigeria's southern coastline stretches from the southwestern tip in Lagos State to the southeastern boundary in Cross River State, covering approximately 700 kilometers along the Gulf of Guinea. Potentially traversing states like Lagos, Ogun, Ondo, Edo, Delta, Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, and Cross River, the proposed highway would connect millions of people. Each region along this coastal belt has its own distinct economic activities, from artisanal fishing to industrial manufacturing and bustling port operations. Lagos, home to over 20 million residents, is often described as Africa's commercial powerhouse. Calabar in Cross River State has historically been a vital port city and remains a cultural hub. The terrain encompasses mangrove swamps, riverine regions, tropical rainforests, and sandy beaches, highlighting the engineering challenges of creating a highway that must contend with both natural and urban environments. 3. The vision, a single coastal corridor. At its heart, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway seeks to streamline travel between two key regions of Nigeria, cutting down on the inefficiencies and inconveniences of inland routes. Imagine cargo trucks traveling seamlessly from ports in Lagos directly to Calabar's harbor, or tourists taking a scenic coastal drive to discover beaches and hidden gems currently off the main grid. This vision also aligns with broader development goals. The highway could anchor investments in electricity, telecommunication, and water supply along the coast, as improved accessibility often spurs additional infrastructure projects. Ultimately, the idea is for a well-constructed, well-maintained highway to serve as the backbone for nationwide commerce and travel, integrating southwestern and southeastern Nigeria with unprecedented ease. 4. Economic implications. Trade and commerce. Nigeria relies heavily on import and export activities. Lagos boasts major ports such as Apapa and Tin Can, while Calabar has a port that serves the southeastern zone. By providing a direct coastal link, the proposed highway can reduce haulage times, cut down fuel costs, and lower the risk of product damage due to poor road conditions. More efficient logistics often mean cheaper goods and a more competitive market. Job creation. Infrastructure projects generate thousands of jobs. During construction, workers from diverse fields, engineers, surveyors, artisans, and more, will find opportunities. Small and medium-sized businesses that supply materials, sand, gravel, cement, etc., stand to benefit, as do roadside vendors serving the workforce. Over the long term, manufacturing and service industries may flourish along the new corridor, leading to sustained employment growth. Foreign and local investment. With a modern, reliable roadway, Nigeria could attract greater foreign direct investment, FDI, particularly in sectors like manufacturing, agro-processing, and tourism. When businesses see that they can move goods efficiently between two major port cities, the region automatically becomes more appealing for setting up factories or warehouses. 5. Tourism and cultural exchange. Nigeria's coastline is a tapestry of beaches, festivals, historic sites, and wildlife reserves. Calabar is already famed for its annual carnival, sometimes called Africa's biggest street party, while Lagos is a mecca for arts, music, fashion, and nightlife. Enhancing road connectivity can shine a spotlight on lesser-known destinations along the coast. Ease of access. Travelers could move from city to city, exploring local cuisines, cultural performances, and scenic waterfronts without enduring the current patchwork of routes. Boost to local economies. From hotels and restaurants to craft markets and adventure tours, improved accessibility can spark new entrepreneurial ventures. Cultural exchange. A unified coastal route encourages Nigerians from different regions to interact, fostering a deeper understanding of ethnic diversity and shared heritage. Think of it as Nigeria's potential version of iconic drives like South Africa's Garden Route or the Pacific Coast Highway in the United States, attracting both local and international tourists keen on a scenic coastal journey. 6. Environmental considerations. Large infrastructure initiatives in coastal areas demand rigorous environmental assessments. Nigeria's southern coastline boasts mangrove forests that protect against erosion and act as nurseries for marine life. Disruptions to these areas, if not carefully managed, could have lasting ecological consequences. Key concerns include habitat destruction. Highway construction must minimize the destruction of sensitive wetlands and mangroves. Erosion and flooding. Coastal roads can alter natural water flow, potentially worsening erosion if not engineered with proper drainage and embankments. Pollution. Increased vehicular traffic means more emissions and potential runoff of pollutants into adjacent ecosystems. Climate change. Rising sea levels and stronger storm surges pose additional engineering and maintenance challenges. Addressing these issues demands thorough environmental impact assessments, EIAs, and the integration of ecologically sound practices, such as building elevated sections in vulnerable zones and maintaining green belts to cushion wildlife habitats. 7. Engineering and construction challenges. Building a highway through swamps, rivers, and potentially flood-prone areas is no small feat. Professional road construction in these terrains often relies on methods like causeways and bridges. To cross rivers and wetlands without excessively altering water flow, structures must be robust and carefully designed for corrosive, humid environments. Phased construction. Segmenting the project can help manage costs and logistics. High-priority sections connecting crucial commercial hubs can be completed first. Quality materials and maintenance. Coastal climates can corrode metal and concrete more quickly. Using reinforced materials and protective coatings is essential to prolong the road's lifespan. Engineering teams must also account for heavy rains, saltwater intrusion, and the possibility of inundation in low-lying areas. Meticulous planning and cutting-edge technology can help mitigate some of these risks. 8. Community engagement and displacement concerns. Any major infrastructure project affects local populations, and the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway is no exception. Some communities may need to relocate, while others could experience disruptions to fishing, farming, or local businesses. To manage these challenges effectively, government agencies and contractors should consult early and often, involve community leaders, traditional rulers, and civil society in planning discussions. Ensure fair compensation. Those who lose homes or farmlands need equitable redress, including potential resettlement options. Preserve cultural sites. Where possible, the highway route should be planned to avoid destroying sacred sites or other culturally significant locations. By maintaining open channels of communication and demonstrating good faith, project managers can mitigate tensions and cultivate public support. 9. political will and policy framework. Infrastructure on this scale requires unwavering political commitment. Given Nigeria's federal structure, a successful coastal highway would demand cooperation between the federal government, state governments, and local authorities. Frequent changes in leadership or policy can derail long-term projects, so establishing a stable framework is vital. A dedicated Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway Authority or steering committee could oversee planning, funding, construction, and operations. This entity might include officials from each state along the route, representatives from the Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, private investors, and possibly international development partners. Such a collaborative approach can help ensure continuity beyond electoral cycles. 10. Funding, a multi-pronged approach. Financing is the linchpin of any major infrastructure endeavor. The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway could be funded through federal and state budgets, allocations from annual government spending, those subject to political priorities. Public-private partnerships, PPPs. Private investors can supply capital in exchange for tolling rights or revenue-sharing models. International loans and grants. Institutions like the African Development Bank, AFDB, or the World Bank may offer loans or grants, often with specific conditions tied to transparency and environmental protection. Bond issuance. Government or consortium-led bond offerings can attract both local and foreign investors. Achieving a balanced mix reduces the risk of project stagnation due to singular dependency on one funding source. Regardless of the model, transparency in procurement and accountability in expenditure is paramount to gain public trust. Timeline and phased implementation. It's unrealistic to expect a project of this magnitude to be completed in just a few years. From feasibility studies to environmental reviews and actual construction, the timeline could stretch over a decade or more. Phased approach often proves most practical. Phase 1. Feasibility studies, environmental impact assessments, and preliminary route designs. Phase 2. Construction of the most urgent or least complex segments, possibly where roads already exist but need upgrading. Subsequent phases. Expansion into more challenging terrains requiring bridges, causeways, or complex engineering solutions. Each completed segment can deliver immediate benefits, like faster transit for local residents, while the rest of the highway is still being built. Celebrating these small wins can sustain public interest and political momentum. 12. Success stories, learnings from other countries. Several nations have built iconic coastal roads that transformed regional economies and spurred tourism. Examples include Pacific Coast Highway, USA, a scenic route in California famed for ocean views and tourist footfall. Garden Route, South Africa, a major tourist draw, connecting diverse ecological zones and coastal towns. Coastal highways in Morocco. These modern roads have boosted trade and travel along the Atlantic seaboard. The common thread in these success stories is consistent investment, meticulous environmental planning, community engagement, and clever marketing of the route as an attraction in its own right. Nigeria can adapt these lessons to local conditions, ensuring that the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway meets both practical and cultural needs. 13. Socio-political impact and national unity. A well-executed, cross-regional project like this can also serve as a unifying symbol. Nigeria's vast ethnic, linguistic, and cultural diversity sometimes leads to misunderstandings and regional biases. Better roads make it simpler for people to visit and learn about different parts of the country, strengthening bonds of shared heritage. From a national identity perspective, infrastructure plays a key role. It shows the global community that Nigeria can plan and implement ambitious projects, reflecting seriousness about modernization and economic growth. In the same vein, a successful project can improve investor confidence, leading to more positive headlines and international recognition. 14. Risks and pitfalls. No mega project is without challenges. Budget overruns. Poor planning or corruption can inflate costs, slowing or halting construction. Delays and political instability. Changes in government or lack of sustained political support can stall progress. Inadequate maintenance. Without consistent upkeep, newly built roads can deteriorate rapidly. Community resistance. If not consulted or compensated properly, communities might protest, leading to legal battles or unrest. Addressing these risks requires a strong governance framework, transparent contracting processes, and active civil society or media oversight. 15. Long-term vision, beyond the highway. The completed highway could become more than a transportation route. It can be a platform for comprehensive coastal development. Once ease of movement is guaranteed, everything from commercial fisheries and agro-processing to high-end beach resorts may flourish. Government bodies and private firms could develop corridor master plans, leveraging the highway to establish industrial clusters, manufacturing hubs, warehouses, and logistics parks, tourist destinations, eco-lodges, marine conservation areas, and cultural villages, renewable energy projects, coastal wind or solar farms to power local communities. These spin-off benefits can uplift local economies, diversify Nigeria's revenue base, and make the coast a vibrant economic zone. 6 community stories, human perspectives. It helps to put a human face on such a vast initiative. Picture a small fishing village in Ondo State. Currently, fishermen travel on poor roads to sell their catch at markets, risking spoilage and lower incomes. With a modern coastal highway, they could transport fish more quickly, improving their profits and livelihoods. Or imagine a family in Bielsa traveling to Cross River for a festival. Presently, this might involve multiple bus changes and a grueling, hours-long ride. A direct coastal route would cut that travel time considerably, making family visits and cultural exchanges far more frequent. These simple but profound day-to-day improvements illustrate why infrastructure is so pivotal. 17. Monitoring and accountability. Given the scale and cost of a project like the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway, transparency is vital. Citizens should have access to clear procurement processes, details on bidding, selected contractors and contract terms, progress reports, frequent updates, possibly published by the supervising ministry or project authority, independent oversight, civil society groups, journalists, and anti-corruption agencies that can investigate and flag irregularities. Such scrutiny fosters public trust and can deter mismanagement. An engaged citizenry that demands accountability is often the best guardrail against corruption and substandard work. 18. The role of technology. Modern technology can significantly enhance the efficiency of planning, construction, and maintenance. Engineers can use drone surveys, satellite imagery, and advanced GIS, geographic information systems, to identify floodplains and optimize routes, reducing costly mistakes. During construction, machinery with real-time monitoring can improve quality control. Once operational, smart highway features, like sensors tracking road wear, traffic congestion, or environmental conditions, can inform maintenance schedules and ensure safety. By integrating such innovations from the start, Nigeria can future-proof the project and minimize long-term costs. 19. Potential synergies with other projects. The Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway isn't envisioned in isolation. It could intersect with port upgrades, facilitating smoother cargo flow in and out of Lagos, Calabar, and Port Harcourt. Proposed coastal rail lines, offering travelers and businesses a choice between road and rail, enhancing multimodal transport efficiency. Local airports, allowing easier air-to-road connectivity for business travelers and tourists. Each of these complementary initiatives can boost the others, creating a cohesive network that makes Nigeria's southern corridor a go-to destination for commerce, investment, and leisure. 20. A glimpse into the future. Imagine setting out from Lagos early in the morning, cruising on a well-maintained highway that skirts the ocean. You pass by bustling fishing towns, scenic beaches, and lush wetlands, stopping at rest areas designed to accommodate both heavy-duty trucks and family cars. By late afternoon, you arrive in Calabar, check into your hotel, and spend the evening soaking in the city's renowned hospitality. That once laborious multi-day trip becomes a comfortable journey packed with stunning coastal views. This vision underscores the transformative potential of infrastructure. For local communities, merchants, and travelers alike, the highway is not just a road, but a catalyst for new opportunities and memorable experiences. 21. Public reception and media coverage. As feasibility studies advance and initial phases roll out, public discourse will grow. Traditional media, radio, TV, newspapers will likely run editorials, progress reports, and investigative pieces. On social media, Nigerians will debate funding, construction quality, and the project's benefits or drawbacks. If managed well, this discourse can be positive, keeping officials accountable and raising awareness about the highway's importance. Journalists and citizen watchdogs alike will demand evidence of progress, ensuring that the lofty promises made at the outset are backed by tangible achievements. 22. Corruption and security challenges. Two topics that loom large over major public works in Nigeria are corruption and security. Misuse of funds or nepotistic contracting can inflate project costs and derail timelines. Similarly, certain regions face security issues, kidnappings, vandalism, or militant activity, which can disrupt construction and deter investors. Strategies to mitigate these challenges include transparent bidding processes, strong anti-corruption oversight, and close collaboration with security agencies. Local communities can also play a part in safeguarding construction sites if they feel genuinely included in and stand to benefit from the project. 23. Tolling and revenue generation. Some funding models may include toll collection to recover construction costs and finance maintenance. While this is a common global practice, it can be controversial. Critics argue that tolls burden everyday Nigerians, especially if free alternative routes are inadequate. Proponents say tolling ensures users pay for the infrastructure they use, lessening the load on public funds. If tolling is implemented, transparency in how funds are used is crucial. Clear signage about toll rates, well-managed toll plazas, potentially cashless to reduce corruption, and regular audits of toll revenue can encourage public acceptance. Additionally, frequent travelers, like local residents, could receive discounted toll rates to ease their financial burden. 24. Building a maintenance culture. Nigeria's climate, particularly in coastal areas, can be punishing. Roads not built or maintained to high standards may quickly deteriorate. Ensuring the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway remains in good shape means establishing a robust maintenance plan backed by adequate funding. Regular inspections. Identifying potholes, cracks, or drainage issues before they become severe. Proactive repairs, scheduling timely fixes to avoid the ballooning costs of major overhauls. Public feedback, setting up hotlines or online platforms where travelers can report damage or safety hazards. A strong maintenance culture not only preserves the road, but also saves money over the long run by preventing drastic, costly refurbishments. 25. Beyond the asphalt, developmental ripple effects. Infrastructure stimulates growth in often unpredictable ways. Once the highway becomes operational, new ventures could flourish. Farmers and fishermen. Better access to markets can decrease spoilage and increase profit margins. Artisans and craftspeople. Tourists stopping along the route may purchase handmade goods, generating local income. Local tourism ecosystems. Tour guides, cultural centers, and community-based lodges could spring up to cater to curious travelers. By strengthening links between coastal communities and urban markets, the highway can breathe fresh life into traditionally overlooked regions. 26. Youth empowerment and skill development. Nigeria's youth demographic is large and vibrant. Major infrastructure projects can help harness this potential by construction-related jobs, positions ranging from skilled trades to engineering and project management. Entrepreneurship. Youth can launch startups in logistics, hospitality, or online marketplaces, connecting coastal goods to broader consumer bases. Creative industries. Digital content creators, vloggers, podcasters, bloggers could document the highway's development, capturing tourism and cultural stories for domestic and global audiences. By involving and training young Nigerians, the project can cultivate a new generation of skilled labor and business owners. 27. Maintaining momentum and public interest. Building a massive road over a decade requires sustained public and political will. To keep spirits high and ensure accountability, periodic updates, publish milestones achieved, completed bridges, new segments opened, or key environmental safeguards implemented. Open forums. Let communities near construction zones share feedback, concerns, and suggestions. Engagement events. Organize site tours and press briefings to show tangible progress. Celebrating incremental achievements reminds everyone why the project was launched and how it directly benefits Nigerians. 28. National transformation potential. If realized, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway could symbolize Nigeria's broader aspirations for unity, economic diversification, and global competitiveness. Beyond the improved travel times and trade routes, it could also stand as proof that Nigeria can bring large-scale visions to life, given proper planning, robust funding, and inclusive governance. Such an achievement may inspire further infrastructural initiatives across the country. Success in the Southern Corridor can pave the way for equally transformative projects in other regions, reinforcing a development mindset that rewards meticulous planning and transparent execution. 29. Challenges of corruption and security, revisited. It's worth reiterating that oversight and strategic partnerships are indispensable. Federal agencies, state governments, and private investors must establish safeguards against graft and ensure proper channeling of funds. Security concerns, ranging from petty theft to more organized threats, must also be proactively addressed through community-driven policing, military presence where needed, and strong intelligence sharing among agencies. If citizens see tangible progress and a well-managed financial structure, skepticism can turn into support. Conversely, any whiff of scandal or security lapses could undermine the project's credibility and future funding. Final reflections and call to action. In wrapping up this discussion, it's clear that the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway is about much more than building a road. It represents a bold ambition to integrate regions, stimulate economic growth, and showcase Nigeria's potential to undertake projects that change lives for the better. Realizing such a vision requires cooperation across all levels of government, transparency in funding and implementation, and genuine collaboration with local communities. It demands a proactive approach to environmental stewardship, ensuring that progress does not come at the expense of ecological balance. It also calls for an engaged public, people who are ready to track developments, hold officials accountable, and champion the broader benefits that a functional coastal highway can bring. Whether you're an investor seeking new opportunities, a policymaker driving national development, or simply a curious citizen excited about Nigeria's future, your role is crucial. Share information, ask tough questions, and stay involved in the decision-making process. With diligence, accountability, and innovation, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway can become a beacon of sustainable growth, paving the way for a brighter, more unified Nigeria. Thank you for listening and considering the potential of this monumental project. Let's continue the conversation about how best to make it a reality. Together, we can shape a future where traveling between Lagos and Calabar is not just easier, but a journey filled with shared opportunities, enriched cultures, and tangible progress for all.